Hello history nerds and welcome to Fake History. Before we begin the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. This ensures you will receive notifications of new videos and it'll help the channel grow so I can continue to make more fake history content for you to enjoy. You can also find me on Twitter at FakeHistoryTV, where I tweet daily on this day in fake history tweets, and if you want to see pictures of my pets, you can find me on Instagram under the same handle. Now, let's start the video. In today's episode, I'll be discussing the fake history of cats, inspired by my own fur demon from hell. The reason my cat inspired this video is because he is so damn friendly that he likes to wake me up at 4:30 every morning by yelling loudly into the dark abyss of the hallway he sits in while I sleep, because cats are oddly terrifying. Then he lets out an ungodly noise that sounds like a normal cat's meow mixed with Beelzebub's mating call, which of course causes me to wake up terrified. He scratches my arms and chest while I'm asleep, and swats at my ankles while I'm walking around my house. He also attacks my poor dog for no reason. Before I adopted him in 2017, he had been through about 3 other homes. I thought adopting a cat in need would be a good deed, but not a day goes by I wish that I hadn't. Historians aren't exactly positive when cats truly originated, but it is commonly believed that the genus Felis diverged from other Felidae around 6 million years ago. Other historians believe that cats were dropped off by ancient alien visitors, as cats were considered to be pests on their planet. So, thanks guys. The earliest indication of humans taming cats dates to around 7500 BC, but the earliest evidence of domestication of cats dates to 1200 BC Greece. The ancient Greeks originally believed that cats could be used as messengers due to their quietness, agility, and ability to reach places humans couldn't, and they would tie notes around their necks to be delivered between each other. This proved to be futile, as the messenger cats would not deliver the notes, and instead they would be found curled up in a sunny spot sleeping. During the Trojan War, a powerful Greek woman named Cleopatra had a forbidden love with a foot soldier from Troy. Due to her political position, she knew of the plan for the Trojan horse, and desperately attempted to warn her lover using her messenger cat. Unfortunately, the cat never left her house, and Cleopatra found it sleeping on a windowsill with the note still tied around its neck, dooming her lover to the invading Greeks. A heartbroken Cleopatra used her political influence to gather all the cats in Greece and ship them to Egypt. Cleopatra was successful in her attempt, and the cats were sent to Egypt during a routine trade endeavor. Since Egypt was full of warm sand, the cats happily welcomed the transition. The ancient Egyptians, however, had never seen creatures such as these, and they asked the Greeks what they were. The Greeks, famously known to be practical jokers, convinced the Egyptians that the cats were deities who had demanded to be taken to the warmest and driest place known to them. The Egyptians, not yet developing sarcasm, believed the Greeks, and thus begun worshipping the cats as gods. While they never viewed themselves as the owners of the cats, Egyptians took on the role as an act of servitude to their new deities. Cats would spend the next few centuries sitting next to the rulers, not as equals, but as superiors. Pyramids were built in honor of cats, originally built side by side, as their design was influenced by the triangular shape of cat ears. The most lucrative jobs during this time were the artists who were able to capture the likeness of cats through sculptures and drawings. Often, when a wealthy Egyptian would die, their belongings would be left to the cats in their care instead of their families. The cat would spend the rest of its life in lavish wealth, while the family would be cast out onto the streets and forced to become beggars. It even became a crime to continue walking if a cat crossed in front of you, as it was considered an honor, and if you continued, it was viewed as breaking the line of a god. Instead, one had to wait until the cat crossed back in front of them, and as we all know, cats don't like to repeat themselves, as they expect you to get the message the first time. So many Egyptians would simply call in sick to work and just try again the next day. Eventually, cat worship came to an end as Egypt became a Roman province, and the Egyptians moved from cats to worshipping the multiple Roman gods a mere 30 years before the most famous carpenter arrived. But that's a story for another video. The dual pyramids, meant to represent cat ears sticking from the ground, would have one of the pair destroyed by Roman decree as part of the effort to halt cat worship. Greece and Egypt weren't the only places cats were present during this time. They were also well known in Britain. However, instead of being viewed as gods on Earth, they were instead viewed as rodent killers. Still, they were held in high regard due to their tenacity in hunting mice and were considered useful. So useful, in fact, that centuries later, the earliest settlers to America brought them along to begin the New World. Instead of making the mistake of using cats as messengers, the new settlers simply let them loose to freely hunt mice as a means to curb the pest population. The settlers were happy, but to the mice population, this act became known as the Great Mouse Massacre of 1597. While the settlers used cats freely and without caution, Native Americans were more hesitant as they viewed cats as evil creatures. There's not much information from Native American history concerning cats living among them. In fact, there's not much information concerning cats from Native American history at all, save the writings of one unnamed tribe member who claimed to have witnessed a cat killing a buffalo by itself. While many did not believe his story and dismissed it as the ramblings of a crazy person, the unnamed man claims that a single cat moved as fast as lightning in the night, immobilizing the buffalo by severing the tendons in its legs before opening its throat with a single swipe of its paw. As time went on and the colonies grew, so did superstition. Like today, women did not have much say or power in early America, but this was starting to change, and it was viewed as a threat to the power dynamic in settlements. As we've done throughout history, men found another way to hold women down by claiming witchcraft. Once a woman was accused of witchcraft, she lost all rights and entitlements and would face a trial of her peers to prove her innocence. More often than not, this would result in her death, as the only way for a woman to prove her innocence was to be tied and bound and cast into a river. If she floated, she was deemed a witch, brought back to the land, and burnt to death at a stake. If she drowned, she was deemed to be innocent. As part of this anti-witchcraft movement, many would be accused simply for owning a cat. Black cats especially were targets. Proving racism isn't limited to just humans. It was also during this time that the act of a cat crossing your path changed from being an honor to being a hex, which in turn caused the woman who owned the cat to be accused of witchcraft. Eventually, after many false accusations and many deaths, men smartened up and realized women having power wasn't something to be afraid of, and they stopped accusing women of witchcraft. However, they never apologized to the cats, and to this day, cats are friendlier to women than men. As when asked how their day is, a cat will offer a friendly and courteous reply to the woman, but for the man, will turn around and simply walk out of the room. Today, the lifestyle of a cat isn't too far off from their days in Egypt. They're viewed and treated as first-class citizens and waited on hand and foot. While a dog is trained to be protective and obedient, facing execution for a single lashing out, cats are not trained and they're afforded multiple opportunities to attack and hurt their caretakers, often never facing consequences for their own actions. Dogs are taught to go outside to use the bathroom, where cats have a specific box that their human is forced to clean, often while the cat watches you, in what only could be described as some sort of cat BDSM ritual. Personally, I've had to spend twice the normal amount of money on cat food as mine has to eat a special prescription brand, while my dog happily eats basic food served from a bag. I've spent far too much money on toys that he never uses, and I've even bought him a special litter box with special cat litter, as he refuses to use a regular box and regular cat litter. My retirement account no longer exists, but it's worth it because he's happy, healthy, and free to attack me. Well, this is the end of the video. As always, thank you for watching. Remember, if you want me to cover the history of a topic, any topic, you can let me know in the comments below or on Twitter. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can be the first to know when a new video comes out, and use my link tree on the page to follow me on the social media of your choice.